Welcome back to the Forbidden Land podcast. We are back. I am back on my solo journey. This is episode 77. Pretty cool. Big updates, big news. Big news. Holy shit, the Spotify update is weird. The close button is like huge. Big news. Lots of huge news. The biggest news. So last week they announced Josh Shapiro as the I'm just kidding. They announced Tim Walz as the vice presidential pick. I touched on it with Livy in the last episode, but didn't get too much into it. And I'm so glad the Democratic Party is finally kind of just a little bit getting it together. Just a little bit more than they were before. Not too much. We still have to demean ceasefire protesters, but they're getting it together just a little bit. And even on the ceasefire topic, she's kind of making progress on that front by talking to the protesters, talking to two organizations that organize these protests about a potential ceasefire plan. One argument I've seen for why she won't commit to a ceasefire is because she's the vice president, and it doesn't look good when the vice president is not in alignment with the president. So either she endorses a ceasefire and the White House tells Joe Biden to shut the fuck up and start vetoing some weapon spending bills, or she, keeps repeating the same stuff that the White House is saying. But it looks like there will be some progress on the ceasefire front, I hope. I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I've been saying that the reason why I'm comfortable voting for Kamala Harris is because if she indicates... this shirt keeps dipping so low on my chest. If she indicates that she will commit to some extent to a ceasefire, I would rather elect her than to chance it and have... What's wrong with my mustache? And then to have Donald Trump enter the Oval Office and the Trump administration last time around never listened to protesters on any problems. And if anything, would just fight back against them out of spite. But also, I don't think it'll even be possible to protest him during an administration part 2, because he's just going to send the military after them. He has presidential immunity now. And I have conflicting... this is my most complex issue I have right now, is I've seen people say, why don't you protest Donald Trump? And to that I would say Donald Trump won't listen. But then on the other hand, I'm like, well, if Donald Trump acknowledges the protests and actively sides with Israel out loud in a more clear way that liberals will recognize, maybe that'll change their tune on a ceasefire. Maybe they will start to understand, okay, right-wingers love Israel and they love what Israel's doing over there with no criticism towards it. Maybe I should rethink some of my positions, thus making a ceasefire position a little bit more popular. And also, I think you should protest Kamala Harris. I think there should be pressure put on the Harris campaign to commit to a ceasefire. But ultimately, I do think it is a better option to elect her and then protest her even more, because she has a re-election campaign on the line. Let's say we've voted in Joe Biden again, and I've gone over my position on this over and over and over. Let's say we voted Joe Biden back into office for a second term. It would never happen because he's ancient and he would die before the term is over. But he would have no incentive towards a re-election. There's a reason why he's like, oh, the camera's out of focus. There's a reason why he's going so hard right now in like public appearances. Journalists will ask him stuff like with the Russia prisoner exchange. One journalist was like, how are you going to get them out? How are you going to get them out? And he just looks at them and is like, do you want them to get out or not? And I'm like, whoa, where did this boost of energy come from, dude? And then like there's another thing where I think he's on like the tarmac with Harris present, and like he walks up to a journalist in a really interesting way and like says something to the journalist. I forgot now. It's been like a week and a half, but there's this like weird surge of energy through him again, and he's doing things that are a little bit more not as status quo in these last few weeks. And I think it's because he's not nothing big, small things, and I think it's because he's not running for a re-election anymore, thus doesn't really need to care about that kind of stuff. And you know, I hope that makes the Democrats find out that the more progressive policy you start to push, the more you realize it's a lot more popular than you thought. Like, dude, if the Democrats changed tune and went, we're doing a public option right now, dude, the general population, 3/4 of the country would rejoice. They'd be like, yay, woo, you know, hooray. The Democratic Party would become so popular overnight. But it's definitely interesting. But I think with Harris having to seek re-election in 2028, I think she would be a lot more willing to play ball with protesters when it comes to a ceasefire plan. But I do understand people's hang-ups. It's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee that she will listen. And I understand why people are hung up on it. We'll get to the Tim Walz stuff in a second, but because we're already talking about Israel, what date was this at? Israel a couple weeks ago went into a foreign country and assassinated the diplomatic head of Hamas, and also, I guess, took credit for assassinating the Hezbollah military commander in Lebanon. Now, they're already in a somewhat of a war with Lebanon, starting one with Yemen. Iran is kind of on the table for them, it seems, but it doesn't seem that they've fully committed to an Iranian war, mostly because of just how devastating that would be to not only their economy, but also to their national security. And I don't think they could get the people on board. I mean, a month of war with Iran, I think the people would already be sick of it. Because of their close proximity to Iran. It's, you know, if the U.S. started a war with Iran, it would more than likely be fought in Iran, similar to the invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan. And, you know, we would never see the war here in America, because that's just the privilege we have of being on our own landmass on the other side of the planet with two coasts. Not saying it would never be brought here, but the chances of it are lower, way lower than a country that is right next door, only a few countries away. It's like a 7 or 8 hour flight away. You know, it's way more likely the war will come to Israel's doorstep. And that we already know that that'll happen. I covered this a couple months ago, that Iran fired weapons into Israel, and the Iron Dome pretty much caught all of them except for like one, I think. But it was basically like the world's most alarming warning shot. And it seems that they haven't really heeded that warning, because they're still provoking Iran. They went on to Iranian soil and just killed someone. Isn't that what happened? Because that's what I've been reading, is that Israel killed the Palestinian ceasefire negotiator. And now Hamas is committing to the ceasefire plan from a month ago because they don't have anyone to negotiate for them anymore. And they're like, these are the terms of the deal, man. I don't know if they killed him on Iranian soil. I know that they killed the Hezbollah military commander. God, I cannot find anything on this. Okay, he was killed in Tehran, Iran. Okay, so he was killed in the capital of Iran. So I was right. They killed a different guy. They killed Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh. Yeah, but isn't he the diplomatic leader? Yeah, so they pretty much are just killing people on foreign soil at this point. No regard for international law. Not that they cared about that in the first place. It's still alarming. Why is this shirt so big? Look at this. Look. What are we doing here? What are we doing? This shirt is so big. It's making me uncomfortable. It's giving me body dysmorphia. I'm done bulking. I've been going to the gym and bulking up. I'm done. Let's listen to this guy at CNN talk about it. If it'll load. I don't know if it will.
This walk around aimless.
And so am I on the other podcast I host called One Thing. We just dropped an episode breaking down the latest, so I wanted you to hear it right here. But if you want to hear more, just search for CNN One Thing wherever you're listening and follow the show, because we'll continue to cover the news out of the Middle East, plus other big stories that are happening all over the world. Again, that's CNN One Thing. We'll leave a link in our show notes. All right, here's the episode. Hezbollah, things are obviously still developing by the
Shams in the Golan.
Thing we can do.
There was a rocket strike on a football pitch in the Israeli-occupied town of Masjid Shams in the Golan Heights, which killed 12 Syrian Arab children.
But one of the most devastating parts of all of this, as you see this scene frozen in time, is the fact that right behind us was safety, a bomb shelter. But
I don't think I'm going to get anything out of this little podcast snippet. I think it's because I don't know where they talk about the Hamas leader being killed. Where is it? 136. Come on. Talking about big boy news.
9 who Israel has confirmed dead. 2, will conflict between Israel and Iran-backed militant groups like Hezbollah tip the region into all-out war? The answer to the first question since last November has been maybe, eventually.
So, this isn't the right transcript. That's a little dumb. Major escalation in the Middle East as Hamas and Iranian state media say the political leader of Hamas was killed in Tehran. So far, there's no comment from the Israeli military. This comes just hours after the IDF said they killed the leader of Hezbollah in Beirut. So there you go. Jesus Christ, why is that so hard to obtain? I don't think that podcast episode corresponds to what I was talking about. So anyways, that's the update there. It seems that the Middle East is on the verge of a war. And I don't know how involved the US will get. But that's the update on that. So, anywho, let's talk about the news from last week. Tim Walz is announced the vice presidential candidate for the Kamala Harris presidential campaign. The other choice was Josh Shapiro. He was like the choice we all thought she was going to go with, and I was really not looking forward to that. Josh Shapiro has way too much controversy. He's a super moderate, centrist Democrat, borderline right wing. He has collaborated with Republicans to put down the progressive movement in Pennsylvania, where he's governor. Before he was governor, I think he was involved in a murder cover-up scandal, as well as he's involved in a sexual harassment cover-up scandal. So he has a lot of bad stuff against him. A lot of stuff that would come out in an op-ed. So, you know, in opposition research, the Republicans would have ran wild with that. He also just wasn't very popular in the progressive wing of the Democratic Party. He was definitely not popular within leftist spaces. And he's also a bit of a charismatic wet blanket. He does not have a lot of charisma. And that was, you know, one of the things that made me not looking forward to her announcing him. Who I wanted was Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, who has sponsored and not sponsored, but he's passed bills that are very progressive. He passed the child lunch program bill, which, oh my God, what a tragedy! Socialism at its finest, feeding kids. One person that I argued with on Twitter was saying that, that the kids of doctors and lawyers will get those free lunches too, and I was like, good. What's the problem there? Like, what's the issue with that? I see that as a net positive. So yeah, there's that, and then you know, that's who I wanted her to pick, and then she picked him. And I was like, no fucking way. The Democrats get Biden to drop out. And then on top of that, pick Tim Walz as the VP. Tim Walz. Do you remember when Kamala got announced as the presumptive nominee and Joe Manchin re-registered to the Democratic Party and was like talking about, no, guys, I'm not going to be the VP pick. and people were like, who the fuck asked? Sorry, I'm seeing new clips about JD Vance. He's not having a good last few weeks either. Let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot that is some breaking news, huh? But yeah, so they picked Tim Walz, and I'm really happy about it. In his announcement speech, let me see if I can find this, because I'm sure this guy talked about it. Oh, this guy works for Midas Touch? I didn't know that. Awesome. I had no idea. Is this the announcement speech? No, that's the crowd sizes speech. How much does this person post?
By the way, we got about 90. This is what we know. Oh, we need some water.
No, that's the medical attention clip. I just want the get off the couch joke.
Like all regular people I grew up with in the heartland, JD studied at Yale. Had his career funded by Silicon Valley billionaires, and then wrote a bestseller trashing that community. Come on! That's not what middle America is. And I gotta tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. That is if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there?
I love him, dude. I love him. He's such a dad. He's so good. He's such a good pick. He's so charismatic. Kamala thought that was funny. He's so charismatic. He's just such a good pick. I can't believe I live in a world right now where the Democratic Party is not fucking around like they used to, dude. And I'm saying they used to like it wasn't a month and a half ago that they were trying to be like, oh, dude, Biden's like as young as a 45-year-old man with the strong mind of a 30-year-old. It's like, oh my God. I can't believe I live in this world right now, where the chances of the Democrats winning are so much higher. Dude, the Trump campaign doesn't know how to respond. It's why I'm frothing at the thought of a debate between J.D. Vance and Governor Tim Walz. Look at this.
Thanks to Kamala Harris suspending
clown
policies,
show.
The average new car costs nearly $50,000 a year.
What are we
Thanks
talking
to Kamala
about?
Harris suspending policies, the average new car costs nearly $50,000 a year.
What the fuck is he on, dude? Like they've just resorted now. They went from saying she's not black enough, and saying that she's super Indian, and didn't start calling herself black until recent. Now they've pivoted to just saying that Tim Walz is a radical socialist. They keep saying that he has radical socialist policies. The only radical policies he even has is just using government spending to make the people more comfortable and more able to live. God forbid we give the elderly like decent care, or give government funding to like preschool. God forbid we legalize abortion, so the government isn't intruding on the way women communicate with their doctors. Oh my God, oh no. That's what they've resorted to, and now they're just resorting to lying. Like, they've just gone right back to the original playbook, which is just lying. That's all they do. Him saying the average car cost $50,000 a year? That's insane. That's not even true. Where is it? Trying to find more clips. So yeah, that's the clip with JD Vance. And he's such a charisma suck. Like, I don't understand. I'm surely they're regretting their decision, right, on JD Vance. Because dude, a debate between Vance and Walz could only mean disaster for the Republican Party. And Trump has come out and been like, the VP pick has never mattered on the ticket. People are voting for the president. What a cope. What a cope. It's so obvious that he's aware of how bad Vance is doing in the polling. If you want an idea of how unpopular Vance was before this pick, he won the Senate seat by a lower margin than the Ohio governor won in the same election. On the same ballot, same party. The Ohio governor won his election by a way bigger margin than J.D. Vance did for the Senate seat. Build this up too high. So yeah, I would love to see a debate on that. And Donald Trump has agreed, if he even goes through with it, to debate Harris 3 times. Good. I want to see it. I really want to see it. I watched an interview of when Trump was president versus like what he sounds like now. Oh my God, dude, he's got no smoke. He's got nothing. No energy, no claps, bad insults. It's just bad. He went on Truth Social and had this like unhinged rant about how Biden's going to storm the stage and take back the nomination. Wonder if I can find that. The post. Let's see. Let's see if I can find this unhinged rant. When was that? Oh. I think I've seen probably the worst thing I'll ever see in my life. I'll show it in a second. I have to find this post first. How much does this man post? I'm gonna just have to, like, sum it up. Oh my god. Oh, that's the other thing, is I should talk about the Twitter Spaces incident. Whatever, dude. I'm tired of this. He goes on Truth Social and just has this completely unhinged rant about how he thinks Biden is going to storm the stage and take back the Democratic nomination at the DNC, and that the Democrats stole it from him. And then, like, he said the exact same thing at one of his rallies. It's just so insane. Here, this is what I just saw. Like how I mute it and then it immediately starts playing audio again. Look at this. Dude, Elon Musk wishes he looked like that. It's almost like mesmerizing how bad this is. Anyway, that's their promotional video for Elon going on Truth Social. Or no, it isn't. No, it's just something that Trump posted. Oh no. Oh no. It's just straight up something that Trump posted. Yikes, dude. Anyways, Trump went on a Twitter Spaces and was interviewed by Elon Musk.
We had a massive distributed denial of service attack against our servers, and saturated all of our data lines. Like basically hundreds of gigabits of data were saturated. We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But as this massive attack illustrates, there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say, and but I'm honored to have this conversation. I want to emphasize it's a conversation.
He's so cucked. He's so cucked. Do you remember when Trump basically was like, Elon Musk will literally do anything for me? And then there's the other incident where when Elon bought Twitter, Trump was like, nah, I think I'm going to keep my ass on Truth Social. And then even recently, when he got almost assassinated, Elon Musk started like a fund for him through like a super PAC. And Trump was like, wow, look at him. He'll just do anything, huh? And then Elon had to come out and be like, it's not a monthly allowance. It's just a one-time donation. It's just a one-time thing. It's just really funny how cucked he is to Trump.
And it's really intended to just...
But I want you to hear the lisp. Trump has a really bad lisp during this.
What Donald Trump is just like in a...
We view that as an honor. And then you do want silencing of certain voices. Usually those are voices that have something to say that are constructive, oftentimes constructive. And so we have to consider it an honor. But congratulations on breaking every record in the book tonight. That's great. I didn't know I had that much blood. The doctors later told me that the ear is a place that is a very bloody place if you're going to get hit. But in this case, it was probably the best alternative you could even think about, because it went at the right angle, and it was a hard hit. It was very, I guess you would say surreal, but it wasn't surreal. Such a sad situation. As you know, we lost somebody that was great, Corey, who a firefighter, a great gentleman, a great.
He has just such a slight lisp, and people kept telling me it was the compression. They uploaded this with the raw audio from Trump's end. So it's like not the compression. He just will like randomly like slur his words in the middle of saying stuff. And it's really off. Like why does he sound like that? Yeah, it was just a glaze session pretty much. And anyway, let's move on. Actually, one more thing. The Kamala Harris campaign is using Truth Social now, and as a result, Trump has started using Twitter again. I think that's pretty funny. Moving on. So let's give an update to what's been happening with Cody Ko. So I talked about this a few weeks ago, that Cody, has some allegations. And, well, yeah, Cody has some allegations, and he was accused by Tana Mojo of having sex with her when she was a minor. She would have been 17. He would have been 25. Not legal. And I think the main reason why he's gone down in such flames is because he hasn't responded. And more information has come out, like other girls that he was hanging out with at the time that were around the same underage, that like appear in some of his vines. Alleged. And oh, right, the friend that he has that was suspended from, or was like temporarily suspended from their university because he had rape allegations, because he was accused of drugging and raping a girl and filming it. I don't think he's ever been convicted, but the university seemed to think it was credible enough to put him on academic leave. He's still close with that guy, it seems. The guy was the best man at his wedding, as far as I've learned, which was not that long ago, within the last couple of years. So all of this is coming out. Cody's response is absolute silence, other than the fact that he appeared at a DJ event where he played a set in a way that made it seem like nothing had ever happened. That's how he acted, at least. People were saying he was contractually obligated to do it. Other people were saying that he could have easily just explained the sitch and not done it. He hasn't done one since. But it seemed that all of the stuff from afterwards is what built up and then created the hatred that people have for him. It wasn't just the one allegation. It's the collection of all this evidence and a lack of response that has made it where people are not a fan of Cody anymore. The Cut YouTube channel has deleted all of the Button videos with him in it. Brittany Broski removed all her royal courts with him. And now TMG Studios has removed him from appearing on podcast episodes. I believe he's still a part of the company in some executive type of way, in a way that's like he's not involved with any of the decisions. He just owns a piece of the company. But it seems to be a Noel only podcast now. They uploaded a episode last week. Let me see if I can pull this up. So they uploaded one this week as well, but the one from last week, let me get it. I'm a bit disorganized this episode. It's called Going Off Grid with Will Survives. It has 500,000 views.
Depending who you are, but I'm on.
It starts out with Noel.
What's up, everybody?
Good Lord Almighty, video players, get worse. Why don't you? People are calling TMG the Miller Gang, the thick meat guy. The video starts out with
Before we start this episode, I want to start by saying thank you for just how supportive and understanding you all have been, and patient above all. And understandably, a lot of you want to know what I have to say about everything that's happened. And the reality there is that I'm not in a position to speak about the situation. And at this point, really, the thing I have to focus on is how to move forward. Which leads me to say, I want to thank everyone as well that just sent me messages of support, just directly to me. That has been just very motivating and reassuring, not just for me, but for everyone at the studio. That's kind of given us the energy we needed to, take the first step back.
One interesting thing I have noticed, because he says in this that, oh Lord, one thing I that he said in the podcast intro was that the studio is being rebuilt, and so the next few episodes will be in spaces that we're not used to. And you can even see like the shelves are empty. And I'll get to like all the rebrand stuff in a second. But yeah, I wanted to also show the intro.
Yeah, just keep at it and keep making things that I hope you love and enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So that's a pretty interesting way to transition things, and it's just like a normal episode. They don't address anything, I assume, because of the legal stuff surrounding it, and I've seen a lot of speculation that that Cody could be deported, maybe. I don't think he would, just because he has a kid and he's been married here. At least I think his wedding was in the U.S. But I know that his child, I'm pretty sure, was born in the U.S. So I don't think they would deport him, but it might complicate how fast he can get a citizenship. And also the legal stuff behind, like, if they give it any kind of credence or like weight, then if it were to be taken to court, then it, I think the statute of limitations is over, but there could be some legal stuff there. But they've pretty much rebranded. This is what the thumbnails look like now. They're all silver, and the logo's been changed to the silver one. It's just Noel with a guest. So yeah, it's a really interesting it's a really interesting switch up. I'm glad they're still going. I'm glad they're still going to do the podcast. I'm glad that Cody is gone as well. That actually makes me wonder, what are the other podcasts doing? Because there's other podcasts. Like, I know the Emergency Intercom left the studio. But what are the other ones doing? So the Zach and Waleed show is still uploading. They just hit episode 100. Damn, these episodes don't get a lot of views. That's sad. I didn't know that. Dang. The Brooke and Connor make a podcast. That they still upload episodes consistently, it seems. Just an interesting situation. I was a huge TMG fan, so it'd be really sad if the whole company went under because of a situation like this. So yeah, I'm very glad that they didn't go under. Oh yeah, and on top of that, the canceled podcast now no longer has Brooke on it right now because she made some racist tweets. From what I've heard, let me look it up. Do they have the tweets? Let's see. Tweets. People are digging up Tana's old tweets. Damn. Brooks homophobic tweets. Brooks racist old tweets. Okay, let's go. This is not going to be all of them. I just want a taste of what it is. Ooh. That's a bad one. Ay. I mean, there are black people defending her and saying that they recognize that she's grown from these tweets. I would have deleted these tweets. I'm just saying. Is this her? Or is that her mom? I don't get it. That looks like it's just her mom. I know that Brooke tweeted some pretty bad stuff about Trayvon Martin. And that was one of the worst of the racist tweets. The other ones were like racist jokes that are not like that bad, but they're not great. And they're like definitely like abhorrent that you should maybe not make those jokes. But the ones that I've seen that are like really bad, the ones that I've seen that are really bad are the ones about Trayvon Martin. But here's here. Ooh, yikes. She tweeted to "Are you or not to are you? Everyday struggle." Ooh. Quit calling me when you're drunk. F word. I don't want you when you're sober. Oh my god. I'm conflicted on this one. As an LGBT person, this feels like a joke that I would be cool with if one of my gay or bi friends made it. Or if like one of my trans friends made this joke, I would find it funny. This is in 2012. I don't know if she had homophobic intent. I feel like it's just, this tweet feels a little malicious. But this would be a fire-ass joke if this was coming out of the mouth of a gay person. Like if I told this joke to my friends, fire. In a certain context. Her saying it, I don't know. See, I can't comment like that on the racist tweets, but I can make comments on the homophobic ones. You can't trade lap dances for cheeseburgers because after a little while, no one will want a lap dance from a fat person. Okay, that one's not even that bad. Like, all right, who cares? It's kind of funny, but like, it's just a fat joke. I mean, who cares? That one's not nearly that bad. Some of these are like bad, and then other ones are like, who gives a shit? Like it's like putting it's like being like George Bush is a war criminal, and then in the same breath being like, did you see how unseriously he took that interview where he did the watch this drive and then hit the golf ball after talking about, like, man, shut the fuck up. Like it feels like there's a lot of these that shouldn't be in here. Like this one, like whatever. It's a fat joke from 2013. Who gives a shit? Resident fat person over here. I think it's kind of funny. It's not that funny though. I sure wish I didn't have to dress like a lesbian derogatory term for work. Okay, that one's a little, just like unnecessary use of the slur for lesbians. I sure wish I didn't have to dress like a lesbian for work. I think would have gone over better, and I don't think as many people would have batted an eye at that. I think it's because she says the slur for it is what people have an issue with. Okay, my phone has to stop. I need to just have it stop like auto scanning for my face, if that's even possible. I'm dressing up for hipster day on Friday. She responds, you can tweet, you can answer your phone, F word. I had a question. That's crazy work to tweet that at somebody like that. Somebody that you know. And he didn't like it or anything. Oh, I see. I'm gonna go. Oh, is this the same guy? No, it's a different person. Oh, I see. I'm gonna go later because I get all embarrassed when I work out like a fat girl. Like I said, the fat ones aren't that bad. I feel like you could have left those out. Those I'm like, that one doesn't really matter as much. You know? That one's like whatever. I gotta do this gay-ass project, but eat some cornbread for me. Scope out the hot boy employees for me. Okay, like... I feel like it's different for me because being a bisexual person, I have made jokes being like this gay-ass insert blah blah blah, you know, thing that I'm doing. But it's always just jokes for me. And I know that it's like if I was straight, I shouldn't really be saying things are gay in a derogatory way. Because when I do it, it's more of just like, oh, haha, you know. And I feel like it's in the same vein here. I'm pretty certain Brooke is straight. But the only ones that are bad are the ones with the slurs, I feel like. The ones where she's saying the F word and the D word. I feel like those are the particularly bad ones. Am I able to see the word underneath it when it's moving? You can kind of see it maybe. I feel like the ones with the slurs are the ones that are the worst of all of them. Oh, that was it. At least on that post. Yeah, I feel like the ones with the slurs are the worst of them when it comes to the homophobic ones. The racist ones I can't really comment on because I'm white. And that's not really my place to comment on those. Like, I've already said that I've seen a few where they're like edgy racist humor, whatever, you know, it's bad. And you have every right to be offended by those. The ones that are like objectively horrible that I feel like everyone should be on the same page with is the one about Trayvon Martin. That one's just like come on, you should have known at the time how horrible that was going to sound. And, you know, the tweet from her, who I presume is her mom, is not that good either. Like, it's not great. It's not good. It's pretty bad. And yeah, I just, you know, I don't know. You should be aware at that age the severity of the Trayvon Martin stuff. I was. How old would I have been? 11 or 12 when Trayvon Martin was shot. And even I understood at the time that was wrong, you know. So yeah. Anyways, one last piece of news that I want to talk about. And then I'm going to talk about some personal stuff, some cool stuff that I did this past weekend. So this guy and his wife went to Disney, and or they went to a Disney restaurant, and the wife has allergies, and the kitchen assured her that the food she was going to be eating didn't have any of these allergens in them. Sure enough, it did, and she died. So the guy, the husband, is suing Disney, and this is so wild. Disney, their response isn't, let's just settle the case. It's cheaper to settle it. Whatever. It's cheaper to settle it, or like, they're not going to argue that, this and that when it comes to allergens in the food, whatever. They're not even arguing anything like this. Their argument is that because the husband signed up for Disney Plus's free trial a couple years ago, that there is a no arbitration clause in the terms of service. Thus, that makes it where he cannot sue Disney for something that happened in the real world at one of their restaurants. Something that seems to be a pretty set case, a case of, this is clearly a case of like negligence, that the wife had an allergy, the kitchen didn't do their due diligence to make sure that there was nothing in the food that would spike those allergies. She then died of the allergic reaction. It seems like a pretty interesting case of a wrongful death due to gross negligence. Has nothing to do with Disney Plus. I don't know how they're going to spin it like that. It just seems like they're throwing stuff at the wall and reminding people of just how evil they are. Because the fact that their immediate argument was, oh, well, you signed up for Disney Plus, and there's a clause in the TOS that says you can't sue us, which a lot of the time those clauses aren't even really applicable, and they're definitely not applicable if you can prove that there was gross negligence involved. So let's say that they signed a waiver going into the restaurant saying that they would waive all liability in the restaurant. And then the wife, the same scenario plays out where they ask about allergens. They're assured there are none. And then the wife eats the food and then she dies because there were allergens present in the food. Let's say that, they had signed that waiver. It is still, the waiver is thrown out when there is gross negligence involved. When you can prove that this was completely preventable, that the error only occurred due to the negligence of the staff, whether it be purposeful or not. Usually, a lot of waivers don't hold up in cases of that. If the wife knew there were allergens in the food and then ate the food, there would be no case. But because she asked and they assured her there weren't any, and then she ate the food thinking there were no allergens in it, usually that kind of stuff wouldn't hold up. But that's a clause that was in the TOS for Disney Plus. So they're really like chucking a Hail Mary into this for this case, because that's an insane argument to try to make for a case like this. So that's my thoughts on that. I believe I had another story that was that every American's social security number just got leaked online, but I don't have a lot of details about that, so I don't really have much to say about it. So we're going to move on to stuff about me. The thing that this podcast was originally about eons ago. I went on vacation this past weekend, hence the bag sitting right here. Oh my God, my arm hurts. Oh, I'm glad I didn't go to the gym today. Hence the bag sitting there. I went on vacation. I went to Savannah, Georgia. Fun. We stayed in the middle of the city. We went to a lot of cafes, a lot of coffee shops, a lot of stores on the strip. We went to a mall. We also went to the beach. That was fun. I wanted to go to the river a little bit more, but we did go on the first day, and that was fun. And we were all a little tipsy when we went. Thank God it's a walkable city. Am I right, folks? This is the thing I love about Savannah, is that it's a walkable city. We were staying in sort of. We were staying in a place that was in the middle of everything. Everything was within walking distance. The only time we had to drive was to go to the beach or go to that mall, because the mall was a little out of the area. But yeah, we went to the beach. We went to the mall and did a lot of shopping, did a lot of eating. Did a lot of eating and did a lot of coffee drinking. I've never had that much coffee in my life. We went to this place that had really good food. I probably have a picture of what I ate in my Google Drive. Let me pull that up. Let's see. This is what I ate. Apology for the camera quality, by the way. My camera shattered. So, not my fault. It is my fault. My camera shattered not too long ago, so all my pictures are like really hazy. But this is what I ate the first time we went to this cafe. Here it is. I got a Belgian waffle with bananas and pecans. And I put this syrup on it. And I got this iced vanilla latte. Or it might have actually been an iced caramel latte. I don't remember what flavor I got in it. And oh my God, it was so good. So good. So good, dude. It was so tasty. It was like one of the best waffles I've ever had. It wasn't burnt or anything. It was cooked perfectly. It was soft. It was moist. The pecans were so fucking good, dude. I love pecans so much. I love pecans so much. You give me a jar of mixed nuts, and every pecan in that jar will be fucking gone the next day. I love them! Anyways, the next day, I got the thing that I wanted before I decided on the waffle. I got something different. Also, the other option was strawberries and cream. Like strawberries with whipped cream. Sounded good. I can get that anywhere, though. This is not that common. I don't see bananas and pecans very often. I see them separate, not together. So I had to get this. And oh my God, it was so good. I cleaned the plate. And then the next day, I get the 2-egg breakfast. I got scrambled eggs. I got bacon. I got these 2 delicious pieces of bread, which I put butter on them. And I put jam on the other slice. Leave a comment. I'm not doing that. I put jam on the other slice. I got not coffee at this place because I was saving my stomach for another coffee at a different place. But I would have gotten a coffee if we weren't already planning to do that. That was my meal here. It was okay. The bacon was really good. The bread was really good. The eggs were just eggs. I kind of regretted my choice on this one. But it was still delicious nonetheless. Good food. The only error here was my own. Delicious. Let me pull up what my girlfriend got. Because she got some good stuff too. And I'm going to pull up what Wesley got. Wesley being the guest on episode 75. I'm going to pull up what he got. He got some like omelet thing that they put on. It was some like omelet sandwich type thing that they didn't put on an English muffin. They put it on a croissant, which is interesting. You can see my waffle. This is the day one meal that he got. He got this croissant thing, this croissant sandwich type thing, and it looked really good. And the egg was really runny. And he got hot coffee. And I believe he got something similar the next day. I don't remember what he got the next day. So then here is fucking son of a bitch. Hold on, let me write that down. Ugh, I hate it. I have to like censor whatever's in my drive because I don't know what's in here. Is there anything bad in there? You know what, actually? No, I do. There's a screenshot of my resume in here. Fuck, man! Damn it! Anyways, here's what my girlfriend got on the first day. This is like a grits bowl with an egg in it, like a runny egg in it, and some like hot sauce thing, and it looked really delicious. And she got a gluten-free bagel on the side with cream cheese. She also got an iced latte. Oh, that's what it was. It was English toffee latte, I believe. No. Never mind. No. Yes, it was an English toffee latte. It was the special for that day. That was the special for that day. I forgot because then we also got a toffee nut latte at a different place. Which I got a hash brown bowl at that place, the place that we went to the day before this one. So, yeah, that was what she got the first day. And then she got this like bagel sandwich, which looked really good. It was like an egg, bacon, all that stuff, sausage, all that. Delicious on a gluten-free bagel. And yeah, that was what I ate at that place. We went to a lot of coffee shops, got a lot of different types of coffee. At one of the shops, I got a frozen peanut butter latte. That was delicious. Here's us on the first night on the river, getting crunk. Just a little crunk. So there's us drinking. So we did that, and then, yeah, we just coffee shop hopped. We went to this place called Dottie's, and I got I was pretty plain with it, honestly. I got a lot of vanilla lattes. I think at this place, actually, I got a caramel latte. I'm a big coffee drinker. I love coffee nowadays. If you'd asked me 4 years ago, I did not used to drink coffee like this. My coffee order 4 years ago would have been a French vanilla iced latte at Dunkin'. Nowadays, that shit's way too sweet. What did I get? Oh, we got this like toffee nut latte where it was like chunks of toffee in the top of the drink. I don't know why we didn't take a picture of it. I got a lot of caramel lattes, a lot of vanilla lattes. I got an iced mocha from one place called the Coffee Fox. I actually have a hat of theirs. Look at that. Barely fits on my big dome because I had it a little tightened so I could wear it backwards. So I have this hat. This is the Coffee Fox. I loved going to this place. They had some really good coffee. Their cold brew tasted good. I believe the next day I got what did I get? I got like an iced latte with simple syrup, maybe. Why is this thing so tight? What happened to my head? dude. But yeah, that was all the coffee I was drinking this weekend. I would have drank hot coffee in the hotel room as like a tradition that I always do. I always try to get hot coffee out of the coffee machine in the hotel room. Yeah, it just didn't happen. We were we were coffee shop hopping too much, but yeah. That was what we did in Savannah. I did get a beach day in. God, I love the Atlantic Ocean, dude. Don't even get me started on the Atlantic Ocean. That shit was so fun. The waves were huge. I got thrown back a few times. Oh my God, I loved it. But that was my trip to Savannah. Had a lot of fun. Oh right, we also played D&D, and we made it like a drinking game where you would take a shot for like a buff potion. Our DM basically did this like other world area. I'm taking this off. Did this like world where it didn't affect the main campaign or anything, and we had to like kill civilians on the first round. Then we had to kill each other the second and third round. Who would have thought that a wizard character like me is so powerful that I got the most kills on the first round and then won the next 2 rounds? I won all 3 rounds. Who would have thunk that the glass cannon wizard character with powerful spells with a potion buff would be able to clean house? So that's what we did. And in lieu of a hurricane hitting Savannah right before we went, Hurricane whatever the fuck it was called. It's literally right here. Never mind, that's a different hurricane. I don't remember what it was called. Hurricane Debbie or whatever the hell it was called. In lieu of that, I have a fun fact. Fun. I'm going to start doing this now at the end of every episode. I'm going to find a fun fact from my brain, some obscure fact that I've remembered over the years, that I have no other reason to talk about. Here's my fun fact. So in 2001, let's go back to September last year. In September of last year, there was a hurricane that hit the Northeast. And let me see what it was called. The name is important. So there was a hurricane that hit the Northeast, and let's see, was it called Hurricane Hillary? No. Hillary hit the Pacific coast. Anyways, there was a hurricane that hit the Northeast, and a hurricane of the same name hit the Northeast in 2001, September 2001. Now, you might remember, in September 2001, 9/11 happened. September 11th, 4 planes were hijacked, 2 were flown into the World Trade Center, 1 was flown into the Pentagon, and another one was down by the passengers in Pennsylvania. And you might remember that all the smoke and everything was polluting the streets. There was debris everywhere, and that it's a big event that, you know, the smoke in particular is what is theorized to have caused, and pretty much confirmed at this point, to have caused all the illnesses that the first responders have received in the following years, thus triggering the need for the Zadroga Act and government funding for healthcare for these first responders. Well, did you know it could have been way worse? Around the same time, there was a hurricane. Was it called Hurricane Ian? No. Dude, what was the hurricane called? Oh my God, Hurricane Lee. Is that what it was called? Fuck! Why am I so bad at this? Is that the one I was thinking of? Hurricane Lee? Anyways. Apparently. That was the one I was thinking of from last year. There was a hurricane going on at the same time off the northeastern coast. And the hurricane was pulling so much of the smoke and winds from New York that it made it where the rest of the country wasn't caked in all this smoke from the attacks. So, like, when you see all the smoke billowing off the top of the towers, all of that was being pulled out to the ocean because at the time there was a hurricane in the Atlantic Ocean pulling all of that off the coast. And if that hurricane wasn't there, it would have blanketed the northeast of the United States and possibly even Washington, D.C. and down the East Coast in like smoke pretty much. And so that's your fun fact of the week is without a hurricane in the Northeast, the air quality would have been far worse for the northeastern United States, and 9/11 could have been a far more devastating catastrophe for the health and wellness of citizens living on the East Coast and in the northeastern part of the country. There we go. I don't know why I can't find any hurricane information. But anyways, that's your fun fact of the week, if you want to call that fun. Thanks for watching. We're on every podcast listening app pretty much. We're on YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on your Samsung fridge. I submitted it to Amazon Music. I don't know if it's on there yet because they haven't given me a link yet to distribute it. We're on the Podcast Index. We're on Deezer. If you can think of it, we're probably on it. We're not on our iHeartRadio. Fuck you, iHeartRadio. I'm not a fan of iHeartRadio. And yeah. We're also on Patreon. If you want the audio version of this podcast on Patreon and the bonus episodes that occasionally come out. Subscribe on Patreon. If you just want to support, you can also just pay for one of the support tiers. But if you want bonus content, there is a tier for that. And there's other tiers if you want to support an even higher amount. That is it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on Friday. Bye. Goodbye. I said bye!